Hey everyone, Jay here from Jade Productions, back with another video. Figured I'd cover what I've been working on all day today. So, today, I've actually been working on terrain, because terrain is a super big important part of every game, whether it be, for Age of Sigmar, whether it be for Legion, Bolt Action, and, of course, 40k. So, what I've been working on today is a bunch of different things, mostly a lot of preparation. This is day one of what's probably going to be a 3-day build. So the first things first, I'll show you the easiest project that I started with. So this project is literally a small, trench line that is very simple and easy to do. And the idea is that this forms a little trench maze that is modular that you can put around the table in places, either in position or in other things. And it's very easy to make. So this first step I started with was, I actually just started with some offcuts. Just some plain old offcuts of regular old foam that I'd made for another piece of terrain down there using some of that stuff, which I'll show you in a moment. And these were regular offcuts. They were all sorts of different shapes and sizes. And we just took a chisel and a good old knife. We used the knife to basically trim the interior edges that we wanted for things to be like, okay, what's going to be lined with the interior? And we're going to use, for lining it, this plaster tape. And we'll see how that looks. It's basically going to go along the insides of here to line the inside of the trench. And then for the outside, we took a chisel and we just directly chiseled down to try and make as much of a slope as possible. If we take a look at some of these other ones that we've got here, looking here. And so the idea is just to make these a somewhat defensible scatter to, up the board. And in place of trenches are normally one of those things of, typically you either have to make a custom board for trenches, or you have to make trenches that are not really trenches that sit above the ground. But there is that. And these are something that I came up with based on after seeing something. I was playing a little bit of Battle Sector and discussing how to make Battle Sector trenches with some people. And basically the idea came to me, alright, well, we just dig up. It's okay to have these, especially if it's like this. These trenches can exist perfectly fine. They've been dug up out of hills and terrain, and the idea is that they just sit around on the table as scatter. So this is day one here. I'm almost prepared with doing stuff. Now this is our second and third project. So the second project comes in the form of this wall piece, or at least this is going to be a wall fortification piece when I am done. It needs probably a little bit of extra work based on the look of it. I need to insert stairs here and a whole bunch of different things. But in terms of that, it's probably going to be the largest build of what I have. So that brings us to this piece. So this piece here, putting it down, is essentially going to serve as the foundations for a bunker, essentially. So we're going to take this, we're going to fill in these sides here with some of this. This is just card, card, right, that we're going to cut. And we've already got some bits already cut out, like this is going to fill in here, and it's going to form part of the door here. Now we're going to take a lot of cardboard. This one's going to be a lot of cardboard. The big thing that this comes with is working with to improve it and improve on this piece a lot. We have a bunch of additional things like some extra foam blocks that I've carved out, some foam pillars. We have some makeshift foam fortifications and ramparts. We have this as well. We have a bunch of PVC piping, which we're going to use to add in on top of that. We have some cardboard, I forget what the name of this stuff is. It's a kind of board. But they're like placemats. You can get them down at Bunnings. And then I have more of the card cut up like so into multiple small pieces. And I'm going to combine like 3 pieces, 4 pieces at a time to make tank traps. So that is the plan. And we're here on day 1 of this build, where we've just about finished all of the measurement and cutting. We've only got the measurements for this and this left to do. Currently what I'm doing is just doing a bit of wiring here, because daylight savings and I've got time to burn before it gets freezing. And I just want to get this done so that these can be done, even if I fail to get these done and ready. So, but mostly it's just measuring and cutting this to fill in the blanks, because we've got a lot of blanks to fill in over there. So that is it. We're currently applying wire. We've got a bunch of this mesh wire that we're going to be using all over the place. We've got some tire wire. We've got some of this smaller copper wire. Not sure how much we're going to be using that. These are just old nails. These are just old nails, some rusted, some not. Just dug deep into it. So, stay tuned for the next video tomorrow. Painting will probably be the 4th day. Okay, everyone, and now this is part 2 of the video. So, it took me a lot longer than I actually thought it would, mostly because, weather, actually, and, sickness, and, a few other things. But, suffice to say, we eventually managed to, complete what we were after here. So, looking at this, we've got ourselves everything came in how it came out. I don't mind those, they're just squished slightly closer together. So we've got our individual pieces. I've put some models around for size purposes. I've grabbed some 40k models just because most people associate trenches a little bit more with 40k stuff. But we've got some other things here. They're all pretty set, as you can see. The wall ruins, the trenches. So the idea here was to make everything sort of semi-convertible into Age of Sigmar, so it could be used for either or. After all, trenches is, you know, like the tank traps probably can't be used, but for that I'm planning to build some palisades, probably in the next video. But overall, you can get away with using trenches in just about any sort of system. So, you know, they're a common aspect of war. Now, this is definitely more sci-fi-ish. I've used some of the metal pipes, which give it a bit more sci-fi-ish, and you could definitely do more on the walls. I would turn around and show you the back of the walls. Actually, I'll just lean over here. So the walls, they're climbable. I've got some of the more pipes here, some other things here. I did the insides of the walls as well. So there's that. I have a nice big giant pipe there in the back, as you can see. And the key when it comes to painting terrain is lots of layering of paints, although I didn't do quite such a job here, though it does actually show off worse on camera than it looks in person. It looks a lot darker in person. Don't know why that happened. And I can see where I've missed a spot, but well. Yeah. Like, it's a lot of building up different layers, again and again. This mud look came from combining black, orange, sepia brown, and yeah, it's pretty nice, I think. It's come out with that griminess. The gloss paint that I used has definitely helped. So let's talk about how I made each of these. So this, by standard, the wall pieces, they are literally just some foam stuff that came with a television. Cracked it over my knee because it was too big to work with the one piece. I originally had 2 pieces. I was going to do both, but I cut them apart because I knew they were going to be a pain to work with. Because these ones definitely are a little bit harder to work with. This kind of style of foam is definitely harder to work with than, say, the foam that these pieces are made out of, right? So these pieces are kind of made out of insulation foam, whereas these are made out of your bog standard polystyrene. Now, to use either one of them, you have to seal them, which I used the Mod Podge for. Very important step is to Mod Podge. I failed to get all the sections of this Mod Podge, however, soaked into this. It took a few days for the Mod Podge to fully set to a reasonable level, and then you really struggle to tell it was set. Like, you can see a part here where it's not quite actually settled. So when you spray it, it will melt the polystyrene, and it will melt this if it's not sealed properly. So Mod Podge is a very important tool to use when you're doing this. It's the essential thing you're going to need when you're working with any kind of foam products, especially when you tend to spray it. the sealant helps it even if you're not intending to spray it. So there is that. It's a kind of thing you need to do because it'll keep anything in there as a sealant, and it's overall better for your health. So there's that. So these were, as I said, insulation foam. Then combined with some old rusty nails that I had. Well, not all of them rusty, but just some old nails. Then mix them with some wire, just some fencing wire, nice and easy. Paddle pop sticks, that's actually not the best one, but some of the other ones, if you look there. And so mixture of things. Nice to mix a few things. I kept the some of the paddle pops of balsa wood, because that's just balsa wood, essentially balsa wood sticks. I kept some of its original color on some pieces, mixed it with some other colors, did some browns, did some blacks, did some oranges, all sorts of different things to get that. And it's literally, I just decided on which one would be the front side and which one would be the back side, and I made one sort of centrally piece that was, on all sides as a commander's pedestal. Why you would ever stand up there, no idea. You'd probably be shot instantly, but it's there. It looked cool. It looked cool in my head. So, and I think it looks cool now. So there's that. You can see the scale I've made it with. So it does work to actually obscure and protect. If I put this down to eye level, so these are some Pox Walkers right here. Come on, focus. Yep, we've got our Pox Walkers right here. So this is the height that they've all come in. So, it's going to take some big things to see past them. So, yeah, this is perfect for games. It's very important. A lot of a thing I'm not a huge fan of in current 9th edition, and it's something I try not to bang on every video I make about 9th edition, but it's not just 9th edition, but it's the current way line of sight works, and this is perfect if you prefer a harsher line of sight and having more cover flowing everywhere. Like, I would probably make each of these dense terrain under 90, and I'd probably be like, I just typically have a house rule where if you're obscured, you just get cover. But, they're tall enough that they are nice, and they can be climbed. So, we just take the death guard there. Alright, yeah. This is an important part why sealing it was important as well, because it lets them stand on it as better, hardens the surface. So there is that. So, there's a bunch of different benefits to all of this. Now, I will probably post some pictures at the end here, showing what it looks like with some Age of Sigmar models. We grabbed a number of these pipes. Now, a number of these pipes, they are mostly they're just PVC pipes that we've sprayed with gunmetal, and we've put a bit of sludge inside with a bunch of different colors that we've mixed together, swirled it together to make it look like there's some toxic sludge and crap in there. Make it look foul and gnarly for the 41st millennium or any other millennium, even this millennium. Then we've taken our tank traps. Tank traps are literally just slapped together with a bit of hot glue, and they're made out of some good old... they're actually just made out of a card. There's a kind of plastic card you can get. I got all these materials down at my local Bunnings, which is just a local hardware store. All of it. Insulation section. Sorry, no, that's from TV. Insulation section, piping section, wires, and nails. A few of them are screws. Fun fact. And then this was, I forget what section these were in, because it was a while ago that I picked up all this material. But, there's that. Some of the colors didn't quite come out right there, but oh well. So, yeah, it provides nice, deep line of blocking sight, and it's one of two ways to really do trenches. The other way is to build them into the board or to build them up, and this building them up, it works, and this, how it is quite modular. And as you can see with the tank traps I've gone, they're quite sizable, so they're going to provide cover, and they will, stop a tank. Like, this isn't the biggest one, but, like, I've got a Land Raider up there I could show for reference, but I don't want to pull it out, because it's buried at the back of my Death Guard, because it's been used all of... Oh, actually, no, I've probably used it every Death Guard game. Huh. Wow. It has a terrible performance record now that I think about it. The next thing we did was we worked on these. So these are made of the same insulation foam. We can lift these off, right? They're just made of the same insulation foam, and they have just been sealed as well. And they make little barricades. We put them on the walls if we want. We tried to make them look a little bit more concretey than say these. So we started with the black, we went with the orange, we did some sepia around the bottoms for mud. Then we did basically several layers going lighter and lighter and lighter each time as we reached the top. We've got a split piece there, and we've got another piece in the background. And that is literally just it. Painting these was not particularly hard. It was a little time consuming, but it only took me two hours. So you start with your gloss, primers, and paints, just some spray cans. I wore a mask because these ones are a little bit worse, a little bit more dangerous than the typical GW ones. I did use some GW paints. In terms of I used the lead belcher for these, and then I also did paint these a little bit more. Like I hit them with a bit more of the sepia, the acrylic, which were also just general hardware from the arts and crafts section of the hardware store. And away you go, Bob's your uncle. And it's a cheap and easy way to throw together some decent looking terrain. The foam, the insulation foam, is very useful. And once you know how to seal it, and once you've got some Mod Podge and you seal it and you paint it, it comes out great. This is a little easier to work with. In my previous video, you can see that I actually used plaster. These are a lot lighter as a result of not using plaster. And the plaster is starting to chip now. I'm not sure how well these will hold up. The sealant should help protect them, but I aim to get those back and actually hope to do some battle reports again for the first time in a very long while. For these, I just used a mixture of colors, like so many colors, although up there didn't quite work out how I wanted. But yeah, it's a lot of building up your colors slowly, one at a time, going from dark to light. You know, conventional style. And that's how we've got it. We've ended up with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, and then the 11th one actually broke while I was spraying it. That was fun. 11 tank traps. We've got all you see here in terms of the trench network. And we've got the 2 walls. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the barricades. 2 walls, and we've got about 7 pipes of various sizes. I've got the big ones hidden out back behind, along with some smaller ones, just because I didn't have enough room on this little display table to really fulfill that all. So, I will put some Age of Sigmar models on this in some pictures below, just to see when I rearrange it all and show you a little bit. I mean, trenches, one of those things, you know, certain factions are obviously going to use them a lot more. It makes more sense for certain factions. Anyway, I've been Jay from Jade Productions. I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.